Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Eikoki Otaku. Today with us, we have a very special guest. Before I say what she voices, I just want to say we have talked about anime titles having essays for titles. Well, guess what? This first character that our guest today voices has an essay for a name. This character is Nene Theiere Chardelon Ryle Vaiself, also known as the Golden Princess from Overlord. Yes. And if I butchered, well, you guys understand. It's a very long name, and I don't even know what language it's on. It's in. So, the other characters she also voices are Franziska von Karma and Mei Karuma from Ace Attorney, as well as Nene Odagiri from Yamada-kun and the Seven Witches. And the last one I'm going to mention for now, because it's a long list, is Cattleya, or Cattleya. Cattleya from the great Cleric. So please give it up for Jessica Peterson.
Woo!
Right. Yes, there
Now.
you go.
Yay! Hello! That was very nice. Good job.
Thank you. I was like, well, whatever. If I'm gonna butcher, I'm gonna butcher it, but whatever. At least I'll try.
I think everyone has to butcher Rener's name at least once. It's totally fine.
Fair. I mean, for those of you who are tuning in to us, I literally I put in Google Translate, how do I say it? And then I put it in English, then I put it in French, and then I made up my own.
I mean, I think even worse is I voiced her and I don't even know how to say her name, so I feel like that's more embarrassing than Google Translate. So, because I never had to say her full name, and who has the time to say all those names all the time?
That's true. It's not your fault anyway. It's the Japanese fault for making it so long.
That's right. Very.
I must say though, she is on par with Hispanics, because us Hispanics, we tend to have long names, multiple
middle
names.
names, right?
Well, first name, yes.
Okay.
Well, first name, middle name, last name.
Maybe she's actually just has Hispanic heritage, even though she's, in a fantasy world. We're assuming she's French. Yeah, I don't know.
But I was thinking about, and we're going to start with this character with Princess Renner.
The Golden Princess.
I don't think that name is Hispanic, because usually Hispanics, they have the long last name. Is it the long name with a short last name myself? Am I wrong here?
I mean, yeah, I think she's just a fantasy. I mean, they're in a video game, so it's isekai. I don't know that she has any recognizable ethnicity from our world.
The rules certainly don't apply here.
That's right. The rules do not apply to Princess Renner, which if you've seen the show.
We have to kick it off with this lovely character. Lovely, scary, unique, which traumatized me with this character development. Talking about here we go again. Renner, Theiere, Chardelon, Ryle, Vaiself from the series Overlord. Amen.
Right.
For those who haven't watched this wonderful, which I love this series, Overlord, how would you describe this anime series?
The series itself?
Yeah, just a quick overview. I don't know if it's 5 seasons at this point, but it's a highlight of the series.
I think it's just there's so many characters. The funny thing about Overlord is my character, Princess Renner, she is in a very specific place in the show. And so I did not even interact with most of the plot, most of the characters. And so I was always with the people in, now I can't even remember the name of the place they're in, but with her brother, Zanak, and the assassins and all of that happening. And so I was I didn't even know what was going on with Ainz for a long time. I was like, what is this show? I don't even know. Like, I'm just a princess being kind of mysterious. Like when she is first on the scene in season 2, like you don't know that she's gonna be crazy. I knew that she was gonna be crazy from the audition that I did because they had me be crazy in the audition, but you would never know when she first appears because she's like, well, I'm a sweet little princess and nobody knows that I'm actually crazy. And so that was really fun in season 4 that we just did 2 years ago now or something. Last year? I think it was 2 years ago.
Like 2 years.
Yeah, it's crazy. Time is crazy right now. But yeah, like she really got to start being very evil. That was super fun. But yeah, I
mean, you said everything. Again, also going back a little bit more about Overlord. We have a lot of isekai with very overpowered character, which is kind of normal, and that can go only 2 ways: kind of boring or very interesting. This one went very interesting because we have a main character that not only has it's almost god level. It's a god level at this point, but he's like facing a lot of situations like political, which is kind of hard to have in an anime story, make it interesting. Family as who they are and how they're trying to survive here. The story of how the hell he ended up here and what happened. He died and he make it back. Even though we know the story that this guy who was super fan of this multi VR kind of Sword Art Online game was so fan of this game that suddenly the company of the video game announced, just like Google Stadia, hey, we're going to shut down the server on the night of this day, so play all you want, but after this night you're going to be locked out. And he decided to play into the last second of the game, only that he fall asleep during playing on the VR, and when they pull the cable on the server, he stayed trapped as the character that he used to be in this game, which is not bad. Now when I think about it,
you know, it's funny because the whole first season that I was in, I didn't actually know any of that. I just was like, I'm here and I'm a sweet little princess, and I was like, what is this show? I don't even know. And so when I finally found that out, I was like, what? I thought this was like a fantasy something, like Lord of the Rings type fantasy, like what's happening? And then I was like, we're in a video game. When I found that out, it was just mind-blowing.
Which might be great because in this world, these characters don't know anything about what's going on. They don't know who the hell this
It was totally on purpose. It was part of my acting method.
So, and this character of Renner, Princess Renner.
There you go.
Golden Princess, the Golden Princess.
Her name, I mean, you might imagine it, very fancy, go crazy as hell. And when I say crazy, the first time, my first impression was that she was just a spoiled prince, that she was like playing the little bit crazy psychopath, girlfriend in love. But when I thought I knew how dark she was going to go, OMG, she went from dark to super dark.
I know. The jump in the last season was like a little jarring. I remember going in for that session because I was so excited to finally be like full on like evil. Because like I said a little bit earlier in the audition, we had like very like sweet sort of here's some political information lines, and then the last line was literally just like go absolutely insane, screaming like as crazy as you can be. And so I was like, well, I know that's coming because I did it in the audition, but I hadn't had to do it for 2 whole seasons. And I was like, maybe she's not gonna be as crazy. And then, I mean, I didn't end up screaming in the end of season 4, but there was definitely quite a shift into Crazy Town. So,
guys, there will be some spoiler here. Series was released 2 years ago. At this point, I don't believe it's spoiler after 2 months, so it's that warning is there. So where did you find the inspiration for this character that had you technically have to play as the character that gave up her own life. She betrayed her nation, her family, and she has to be kind of sassy, both psycho and creepy and weird. But where did you get this inspiration for such role?
So I think it was really interesting to play her for 2 whole seasons, kind of like normal almost, like sweet and kind of like you always knew there was something going on with her, like something under the surface. Even like at the beginning, she was a little like off-putting. And then in season 4, we did our director, Chris George, he was like, I want to make her a little bit more mature this season, and I want her to, so that we can really see that there's a lot more going on under the surface now, because it is going that direction. So there was a lot of having to sort of shift my mindset of, oh, she's just sweet with like a little bit of ulterior motive, to she now has like a plan and she's going to enact this plan and she's like very focused. So I think there was this, she had to be so focused on the plan, and everything else that she was doing was just part of that plan. So even it's like when she would have sweet moments, it was now part of the plan and she was manipulating people. So yeah, there was a lot of that happening in season 4, where we were just making sure everything kind of had an underlying evil, a little sprinkling of evil on everything.
It is, guys, it is a great series. 5 seasons so far. I think we're going to season 6.
We've dubbed 4 seasons, I think.
4 seasons? My bad. We're about to go to season 5 now, right?
We're hoping.
I lost track. I mean, we need it because after how many seasons we have already? I lost track. You say you guys dubbed season
4. 4 was the last one that we did.
Right.
But I think there's a movie or something.
I lost track. But with even that so many seasons, they're not get bored. They're not repetitive. They evolve from season 1 to season 2. The story can keep getting more complicated. So you will not see more of the same. You're going to notice that small details on season 2, you're going to have a big impact on season 4. So definitely a must watch. But moving from the war in Isekai world to the battle in the court, with one of the character of a very famous franchise is on the video game world. Talking about Mei Karuma in the series Ace Attorney. So, how would you describe, for those who haven't watched or played Ace Attorney, how would you describe this great series?
Ace Attorney is so fun. It's essentially a series of like one case after another that our hero is the main attorney for. And my character she is like the opposing counsel frequently. And she's like a villain, and then she's not a villain. So it's kind of like fun to get to play that sort of like, she's obviously against the hero, but then she's not evil. But that, yeah, it was such a zany show, and it was so fun because each case had like these characters that we could have so many different people in each episode, and everyone just loved working on it. Like, we always, whenever we talk about Ace Attorney, like with the people who got to work on it, we're like, we missed that show. It was so fun. It was just like such a like entertaining, like funny, and it was always very clever. Yeah, and the characters were just so kind of silly. It was a lot of fun. We loved it.
Let's go with the fun fact, because I just realized I screwed up with the introduction of this character. I said the Japanese name of Mei Karuma. Now, like, I was saying it, and I was in my mind saying, there's something wrong here. And I already like, okay. screwed up. In the United States, or the English version, is known as Franziska van Karma.
There we
Right?
go. Yep.
Wait. So that makes a lot of sense because when I was introducing, I was like, since you put two, I was like, Franziska von Karma and Maid Karma. I'm like, but I only have one here or the other. So I'm like, I don't know which one's which.
That's okay. Yeah, the Maid Karma is the Japanese name.
Okay.
Yeah.
Another fun fact: this character in the Japanese version, she grown from Germany.
In the English version, I think she's from Germany.
I knew it. Sweet. In the English version, she comes from Germany, and in the Japanese, she comes from the United States.
Yes, there it is. Yeah. Yes, I saw some comments online that were very disappointed. I did not use a German accent. Sorry, guys. I don't have a German accent. The director didn't want one. So sorry. But yeah.
Wait. So in the Japanese, does she have an English accent?
No, she speaks Japanese.
Well, there you go.
That's right.
No reason.
That's right. Did you hear that, people on the internet?
I only say it because if people are like, oh well, the dubs are never as good as the subs because of this and this and that, and then we have the Japanese trying to speak English, but it's a very not a good one because it's the accent, so it's like makes sense that if it's done in English, it should be done the same way. In this case, if the Japanese one never had an English accent, an English Japanese accent, whatever, however you make it, why should there be a German one? She could have been fully bilingual for all they know.
She could have just had no accent.
Native.
Right? It's okay. We can't make everybody happy.
That's true.
Some internet facts for comparing here. I had to read about this series before a few days ago because we went to the Music Gaming Festival convention in DC, MacFest, also known. And we had the panel called Anime Inspiring Video Game, and Saturn was one of them. So, never seen this anime. I'm reading, trying to get fun facts or reading about it, and I'm going to drop it just in case, put it here, and you take it as you want, guys. Many people on the internet say, no, the anime is not that good because the game missing that. They complain a lot about the game. No, sorry, about the anime, that they're saying they didn't make justice to the game. Me as a person that never played the game at all, never. And I'm trying to watch here. I'm watching the English version here on my computer. It was 3 in the morning. I played the first episode, and it kept me until episode 5. So it is a good series. And this is what I say. Take it as you guys want. But probably you haven't watched it and play the game. It's a great chance for you to watch the anime. You're going to enjoy it so much. You're very fan core, like big nerd. Nerds always complain about the animation, always in all video games, always. So
well, and that's interesting because I watched some gameplay when I was doing it, just because I was like, what's the vibe of the game? And this is like a big franchise, so I want to like do it as well as I can, and have a good idea of what it's like. And I felt like it was pretty similar like feeling. I feel like they really captured like the vibe of the video game in the anime, but I'm not like a hardcore fan of the game. I've never played it. I just watched some gameplay, so
well,
there are some of us who like things casual. We don't have to dive that deep into the lore to enjoy it.
So
and
true.
Again, it was 3 in the morning. It kept me until episode 5. For a series to do something like that, it has to be good. There has to be something there because I was lacking of sleep before going to the convention, and I was like, oh damn, this is a good series. So, and it happened to me before the episode. I was studying again, and it happened to me again. I'm like, okay, I'm falling again. I need to finish this.
It like really draws you in. You got to know what's gonna happen next.
For real, it is great and funny characters that sometimes like, damn, they keep the detective so silly.
Yes. Good old Phoenix. He's a silly guy.
And moving forward to another more less realistic.
More or less?
Anime. I don't know how to describe this one. When you have the chance to reincarnate and have a special power, kissing people and getting stealing powers. Speaking about Nene Odagiri in the series of
Nene Odagiri.
Yamada-kun and the Seven Witch.
Yes, Seven Witches. That's correct. Yeah,
I mean, I drop a little bit over there, but take it from there.
that was a really fun show. That was my very first anime show I was ever on. I did like Walla background stuff for one other show, and then I was immediately Nene Odagiri right after that. So I had never done voiceover before. I had been acting for like my whole life, like on stage, but I had never recorded anything in a studio. And I came in and I auditioned for it was Aria, the Scarlet Ammo AA, for anyone who knows what that is. And I didn't get cast in that, but then the director was like, I have this other role for you. And I didn't actually know until I was halfway through a session with him, because I was reading, I had come in for like some Walla, some bits, and it was my second session ever. And he was like, okay, so this is what we're recording today. And like 2 lines in, he was like, yeah, she comes back and she's like part of the main cast. And I was like, what? I don't know what I'm doing. Are you sure? It was a little stressful. I started like hyperventilating and, but we made it out fine.
So, being this your first anime series as a voice actor, how do you feel with so weird topic? Because I was doing my assignment last night, trying to understand what the series is about, but I watching it because I haven't watched it yet. And I was like scratching my head, like, I can't figure out what this is about. Like, the guy, he fell from the stairs with a girl, which he kissed, and he ended up stealing her power.
Yes.
And now,
time since I was in this show, but yes, there were like 7 of us, Yamada and the 7 Witches, and we all had different powers. And he was actually he was in love with the main girl. I don't remember her name. She had blonde hair, and and then the rest of us were like the other witches. And there was like some school drama, and yeah, all the powers were like confusing. And yes, I think we were all a little confused as well while we were doing it, about what it was about. But it was a lot of fun.
The longer is Urara.
What?
Urara?
The longer is
Oh.
Urara.
Yes.
Which I can imagine how it would be for you guys as voice actors, because it's not only stealing the power, it's also stealing the body, right?
Mhm.
So I guess you guys were switching also as voice actor too.
Now that you say that does. I'm trying to remember. Let me look real quick.
Because I was looking at it and I'm like, wait, so it's not only changing the body of the person who steals the power, it's also changing the power only changing the full body. So I'm
So
like,
like Freaky Friday.
Yes. Yeah.
with a kiss.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
What did you say?
Nothing weird.
Freaky Friday with a
kiss.
kiss.
Yes, Freaky Friday through kissing. Exactly. Yes, I feel like I remember Yamada especially did that, because he and Urara switched, I feel like, and there was just this really hilarious episode where he was acting like her. I remember this now. I was like, it's been such a long time since we did it, but now that you say that was so funny. And I'm saying that, and I'm like, I hope that's correct, because now somebody can fact check me. But I'm pretty sure that did happen, now that you bring it up.
Somebody's gonna be like, she doesn't know her own character.
know.
She doesn't even remember the
Guys,
experience.
it was like 8 years ago.
She's
I'm
wrong.
Hey guys, feel free to go to the comments and destroy me. Destroy me in the comments for not
Okay,
knowing the anime.
It's fine.
If they can destroy me in the comments, I'm fine. I will take the comments.
That's right.
That helped the algorithm so much that bring everything to me. Hit me,
Yeah.
guys. But moving to something more soft, less crazier. Another isekai. where you had the role of Cattleya in The Great Cleric. Is that right?
Cattleya. Yep. you got it.
Cattleya.
Yes.
Wait, and you're in Texas, so it sounds like y'all too. So it's
That's
like
right. Yeah,
Cattleya.
our director, he would say "cattle, y'all" all the time. Like when I would record, it was great. It was very funny. Yeah, this one was really fun because I got to essentially play a glorified shop owner who was constantly trying to sell things. To Justin Reiner, who was playing what the main guy, I don't remember his name, but when I saw that cast list, I was like, oh my gosh, I get to act with Justin Reiner. He's so great. His work was just so amazing on this show.
Lucien.
I'm sorry. Yes, Lucia. Thank you. Perfect. Yes, that's correct. Yeah, this one was super fun because I got to be kind of sassy, but like nice. I play a lot of villains, and so this was nice to like. This past year, I got to play a couple non-villains, heroes, protagonists. So that was really fun. And yeah, Cattleya, she was kind of a sassy, like nice. Yeah, I mean, like she was pleasant. But yeah, I got to throw some sass at Justin Reiner. It was fun.
Wait, I have a question now.
Okay.
Because you mentioned the fact that you said you play a villain. Is it because your voice is like more in line with like the villain characters, or it's just pure coincidence?
I don't know. I would love to play more like non-villain. I mean, villains are super fun. I think I just have a lot of fun, like really like layering on the evil and like having the sass and stuff. But yeah, I don't know where it came from. I'm not. I don't think I sound evil in my normal life. But yeah, it is funny because especially a lot of my sort of bigger roles have definitely been like Renner is definitely evil. Franziska she's very like aggressive and has some of that evil in there, and yeah, I guess most of like my more recent stuff is not as evil, which is very exciting. I'm breaking free of only playing evil people. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I just present that way in auditions. I show up and I really sound evil or something.
Yeah, and I can just imagine them saying, yeah, that's her villain. We don't need any more. That's how she sounds. I feel the evil. I hear the evil. It's right there.
I mean, I was holding this one for the next round, but I feel I need to bring it now because one other unique role that you have is the narrator voice of Goblin Slayer, which I don't know where to place this series. As a hero or villain, or can you delight us describing this series, because I feel so traumatized with this series.
So it was funny because my introduction to Goblin Slayer, I did Walla in episode 1 for I think like some goblins who were doing very terrible things.
And
I was like, this is horrifying. And then like 2 weeks later, it was like, come in and do the narrator. And I was like, okay, I'm a little scared after being traumatized in the first episode. But yeah, no, this was a really interesting thing to record because it was like they wanted me to use my lower register a lot more and like be really smooth and sort of otherworldly, which was definitely not something I had really done before. And so we had to like record like phrase by phrase because they wanted such specific deliveries. And I felt so bad because I was like, I feel like I'm just like hopeless because you have to give me direction on every single phrase. I'm sorry. And they're like, no, it's just very specific. So it's really interesting to work on specifically the delivery of all of the narration sections. So it was a challenge.
And well, I'm one of those person that has said many times that the narrator is one of those branch of the anime world so important and so underestimated because the narrator it is the voice who can make the story interesting from the beginning or boring, or can bring the hype where nothing is happening, or it is one of the cores for the series.
It
Honestly,
can be
I mean,
very like it can really set the atmosphere for like the episode or the series. Yeah, so I think it's really, really important. I mean, it's always important to get the voices right for the roles, but I think like a narrator voice can make or break like the vibe kind of the show. So I felt the pressure.
definitely. One of my favorite narrator for another series is I don't know, I can't recall the name right now, but from Kaguya-sama, Love is War.
Oh yes.
That's it without the narrator, you just be silly kids running around. And here we had the same story. Without the narrator, we just have a guy killing, slaying goblins and goblins doing stuff that, by the way, parents, you hear me?
Yeah.
Kids have this series in the watch list or on this next episode.
Watch
And it's
it.
time for you to step up. I've been in multiple conventions, and I always said it. I've been open conventions on shopping mall area, public audience, and when we present Goblin Slayer, and I see kids jumping, and hey, that kid over there, guy with the parents, hear me out. This is not for kids, and when I mean not for kids, it's like not for kids. I sometimes I question myself how this is in Crunchyroll and not in those other platforms.
Yeah, when we did that first episode, I remember the director was like, "This is what's gonna happen. Is everyone okay with this? Like, it's pretty graphic. It's pretty terrifying." We were like, "Okay," and then we watched it and we were like, "Wow, great. We'll record that, sure. Why not?" Yeah, it was a lot.
I honestly, I can be prepared for that. Like anybody can tell me, but anytime I see it animated, my jaw always drops. I'm like, but why?
Really?
Yes.
I mean, in
I want a
anime,
live action.
in anime, I don't ask why at this point. I just ask how that's here. I'm like, how they make it to Crunchyroll? How that's not in HTV?
Wait. So wait. You mean to tell me that Crunchyroll took literally a paint roll, like a paintbrush and a paint roll, everything, and they censored that one series I forgot the name about, even when they're just kissing with clothes on. It's just a kiss, and they literally censored the entire screen versus this series.
Yeah,
They didn't censor anything. Okay,
I don't know.
good to know.
Yeah,
So
they
for
didn't.
the one Akira is talking is War and the War and
World's Harem, World's
Yeah,
and
World and
Harem.
which was censored by the Code of None from Crunchyroll. It was a group of nuns censoring everything. So
None.
this one is the other way. It's the other way. I don't know how to say the other side of nuns, but just imagine nuns and the other side. Those are the guys who censor here, almost next to nothing. And there was no censor in Crunchyroll, but the uncensored version is always out there in the internet,
Of course.
so people know where to go. And it was
Have
a
fun.
great source of dark memes. I have to admit it. Internet rain of dark memes that are like, ooh, how the heck fake was not banning this? But sure, haha, let me click. But getting to the dark, let's talk about your career, Jessica.
Great.
How do you end up in this world, getting out from those goblins and now as a voice actor in the anime world?
How did I get into voice acting?
Yeah,
Yeah, so I started acting like on stage in like 7th grade, I think. And so I did theater all through high school. I went to college for theater. That's what I got my degree in. I came back home after college and was like, oh, I'm gonna move to New York. I'm gonna do the Broadway thing. And I started working towards that, like here in Dallas, and I found out very quickly that you can't make money really doing theater in Dallas, certainly not like full time. And so I actually had a singing job with Jade Saxton, who also very well known anime actress and director, and she worked at Funimation, now Crunchyroll, and I was like, oh, how do you audition for that? I'm an actor. I'm sure I could do that. No worries. Didn't have any idea that I wanted to do voiceover, had never thought about doing voiceover before. I was not the kid who was like making weird voices, and that wasn't me. But I came and I auditioned, and I left the audition being like, that was the most fun acting I've ever done in my entire life. And it wasn't even anything crazy. It was just like, here, read this like script like an anime character. Great, okay. And I had so much fun. And so then I didn't hear anything back for a year. And then a year later, they were like, come in and audition for Aria the Scarlet Ammo AA, that show. And then I got cast in Yamada, and then it all just kind of snowballed into all the other things. Yeah, and now I do all the various genres of VO, like commercial and corporate and animation and all that good stuff alongside anime. So, yeah.
I'm sorry. I was here like, quick question. Because you said you went to audition and you didn't hear back for a year.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is something that's very relevant for a lot of people in any industry, honestly. What did you do during that entire year to, first of all, yeah, what did you do? And then second of all, like, how do you keep yourself motivated?
So, yeah, this is actually very relevant because even just this past year, I auditioned for like a commercial in like June, and I didn't hear or book it. I booked it, but it wasn't until December that I heard. Like, that's a long time. So like, it's not in your head. You're not thinking about it. So yeah, when I auditioned for Crunchy, I didn't even get like a thanks for auditioning. There was no like, we'll follow up. It was just nothing. And I think being an actor, that does happen a lot. And people, I'm sure everyone says this, you have to like audition and then you just kind of have to let it go. We do, of course, I'm kind of obsessed about things we really want, like the part we really want or whatever. But you really have to like get to the place where it's like, I did the audition. I had, a good time doing the audition. I gave it my best shot. And now I have to, I say I leave it up to God. It's in his hands. I can't like do any more. And then whether you get it or not, I get coaching I kind of try and do a little coaching in every genre of VO, like every year. So like I did some private coaching with Kyle Phillips this past fall, just to kind of keep learning, keep like improving. And yeah, like voiceover is really hard right now, especially because the market is very saturated. Like there's so many people who want to be a voice actor, which is awesome, but it makes it really competitive. And so, yeah, I think just taking classes and getting lots of feedback from people that you feel like you can trust, and like kind of like not like mean, but like blunt, like this is really how you're doing. This is like, it's not just like, oh yeah, that was a great read. Like, what about it was good? Like, what about it was bad? Like, I need very specific feedback. And I think that really helps you kind of keep moving forward. And then I always say, like, if it's meant to happen, it'll happen. So if you are like doing everything you can to be prepared for that moment, it'll happen when it's supposed to happen. So.
When you went to school for acting, it was at college level, right?
What?
Do they teach like voice acting, like a class for that only?
So they do have voice acting, like voiceover in colleges, but they didn't at my college. We didn't have any voiceover. It was just musical theater. So lots of singing, lots of dancing, lots of acting on stage. But yeah, no, we had no voiceover. I had literally never been behind a microphone until my Funimation audition. That was stepping into that audition was the first time I had recorded in a booth ever. It was very, very intimidating.
And from those skills experience that you have at college, because it's not the first time that professional voice actor telling you, hey, you need to study. This is not just funny voice. This is a discipline. You need to educate yourself. But when you, after going to college, how many skills that you can remember you learned at school, or they were kind of tough on you? The teacher gave you probably not the best grade because you were not that easy in that area. How many of them do you really apply when you go to the cabin or recording as a voiceover actor?
So much. Yeah, especially musical theater to anime, because musical theater and anime are both like kind of larger than life and like very big sort of, especially like comedy anime is so huge and like all over the place. And so it's actually been more difficult for me to sort of transition into doing like commercial voiceover because it's much smaller and more like intimate and like kind of nuanced. So yeah, like I think I really like telling people who are interested in doing voiceover but have never done any kind of acting, I'm like, go do theater, like do a play, like take a theater class, because that is really going to be so helpful for learning just like how to act. Because really like when you're in a booth doing like voiceover, it's a lot less about like how to act. Even when you're doing like voiceover classes, like it's a lot more about like voiceover technique, which kind of you kind of assume that person then sort of has a foundation of acting skills. And it's not like impossible to learn that in the booth, but I think it's much easier when you're doing like on stage or on camera even. So like just kind of get used to like acting with like your whole being. Because in voiceover you're like putting all of that into your voice, but if you don't know how to do all of that, it's harder to like put it all into your voice, if that makes sense.
And that's great to hear.
Because we have heard a lot of voice actors saying in the past, whatever you do in the booth, like it comes across in like in the microphone. Like people don't know you're like punching the air, but when you do it, it sounds different than when you don't. So the microphone picks up on those emotions, picks up on those, I don't know, way of articulating just the acting that you're doing in there, even though people don't see you, they only hear you.
Or, yeah. Just be careful not to punch the microphone.
Right.
I hear that very often. The microphone sees you, the mic sees you. And for me, it's kind of hard to understand what that really means. But it's great that you mentioned that, because I can recall one thing in my life that I used the integral after school. I learned at a school exam, and now as a graduate, I never used the integral for so many problems in my life. So I'm like, great.
Look for the hypotenuse.
Or I have a problem. Let me use for R to.
What did you go to school for?
Aviation and engineering.
Wow.
And all those mathematical equations, they all get solved in Excel.
My brain just like stops working. My brain doesn't like that. I'm very impressed with you guys.
I agree with you. I'd be like, every time I'm here like, what have I used calculus a day in my life? No, I only used it to pass the class and that's it. And then to take physics, but that's it. That was like, what else do I need it for? I don't.
I just need like addition and subtraction. That's all I need.
For taxes. Tax season's coming up, guys.
Exactly.
Do your taxes early.
That's right. Yeah, PSA, do your taxes.
Let's move to something more happy here. No, let's look at my unique skill makes me up even at level 1 with one of the characters that hopefully I don't screw this name with Celeste.
Celeste.
Oh, Jesus Christ. No,
I'm so sorry. You were so close. It's okay.
He said it in Spanish. She said it in Spanish.
I'll forgive that. It's fine. It's fine.
You know, after talking about tax season, even my pronunciation when
it's like, okay, wait, this is like Google. So when we talk to Google, if I want to turn on the light at the table, I have to say it it's in Spanish. The name is in Spanish, but I have to say it in an English accent. So I have to be like, turn on Mesa. Understands me perfectly.
that is hilarious. Like, no.
I don't know how to describe my frustration and how mad I get every time I ask. We activate again. Hey, temperature, and he answered me back. La temperatura es 50 grados. And I hear like, ask you in English. Why are you replying in Spanish?
I've mentioned to Onyx, I know this is like parenthesis for the podcast, but I've mentioned to Onyx, hey, I think she's very biased. Like,
She's not racist.
She's racially
racist.
biased, because if Onyx asks her and he has a thick accent, she will answer in Spanish, but if I ask her, she will answer me in English. And it's the exact same question to the exact same device. The difference is the person who's saying it.
And if I change the accent,
Cheese.
if I try the accent to something else, it answered to me. Hey Google, temperature.
In English.
Oh, now answer better. A little bad. Perfect. Always. That's it.
Really
Anyway.
hard to, like, make it neutral sounding so that it wouldn't.
Anyway, moving forward to the next Celeste. Now it's right now.
So
For the
bad.
longest watch, my unique skill makes opening even at level 1, which is a wonderful series. How would you describe it?
This is another isekai, of course. Isn't everything an isekai right now? It's like all the shows.
Yes.
Pretty much. Yes. No, this was such a fun role. I was so sad during our last session for this part. Celeste was she was one of the first, like, really sweet, like, just actually sweet characters I've gotten to play. And she got to do, like, all these fun, like, anime girl kind of, like, freak out moments in the second half of the season. So, like, I got to play a lot of things I hadn't gotten to do that are sort of normal for anime, and I was like, I haven't gotten to do any of these things. And so it was really fun to kind of catch some of those. She was sort of the, like, quiet, nice girl, I guess, we called it the harem. Is not really a harem, but our little group is, like, kind of a harem. It's fine.
It sounds like it, looks like it is.
Yeah. So yeah, and when I got the part, I was like, I've never gotten to play the, like, sort of quiet, nice girl. This is so shocking. So that was really, really, really fun. And I got some, like, dramatic moments, which I also really haven't gotten as much of because I'm so busy being evil all the time. Yeah, so it was super, super fun and cute, and getting to play with all the harem was really fun. And it was funny, actually, because the main character, Emily, I like randomly met the voice actress like a week after we finished recording, just sort of serendipitously. So that was really fun. So I was like, oh my gosh, we were just harem sisters together. So yeah, I know.
That's a title right there.
That sounds like an anime title. We are harem sisters together. Yeah, too much.
And your real work can end up very bad.
That's
But how about that change of pace? Because technically, when you have evil characters, they're very hype, weird, unique. All the description you can throw to a weird character, you can throw them over there. But this one suddenly is slowed down to a shy, to a tsundere character, kind of. So, how you handle that change of pace from going to hyper to smooth, I guess?
chill, and
Chill?
I took a lot of like inspiration from the Japanese, like how she was very. We're still talking about Celeste, right? I just want to make sure.
Yeah, Celeste.
Yes.
Yeah, great. I was like, we didn't move on to be yeah, and just kind of partly because we had so many other girls that were like in that show, and I was kind of the, like, calm, quiet, like, I don't really know what's going on girl. And so it was really fun to kind of fill that spot for the first time. And I got to do like magic stuff, which I don't think I had ever done before either. So it was like all just like one thing after another of things I was so excited I got to do. But yeah, I love taking a lot of inspiration from the Japanese voice actors and kind of making that fit what we're going for as the English cast. Because most of the time, you know, like we're really going for the same feel for the show, of course, but also we all kind of have our own vibe. And yeah, so it was fun to fill in the calm presence for once.
Yeah. And we need to wrap it up with nostalgia.
Digimon, digital monsters. Digimon are the champions.
before Paramount, the series, the game going on, there was Digimon, so people thought would be the end of Pokemon.
Before what? What? Wait, go back. Before what? The series? Before what? The game? Pal World? Pal World? Like pals? Here's my pal, my buddy. World.
Is that what you said?
It's Pal World. He said like Paramore? Like, it's not the band.
We talking about Paramore? What's happening?
You ever hear about that one, Jessica?
Pal World? No.
It's on track right now.
Now I have to look it up.
Pal World
Pal
came
World.
out. Yeah, it's in beta version right now. It's actually been like in the internet for a while now, like for years when it was in development, but it was actually released in beta version earlier this year. And the Pokemon try to sue.
We'll try.
But yeah, it's because they've always touted it as, or the people in the internet have always touted it as Pokemon with guns.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because they have some very similar vibes in like the design, but
Okay.
they're different.
They have 19 million
Not the same.
users.
No, not the same.
That's so
And
funny.
apparently there are 19 million so far users. So that's what
Wow.
Pokemon now they want to take action. Like, oh, that's a real thing. But before Power World, there was Digimon, who people
That's
thought would be the Pokemon. And one of the iconic characters from that first generation is Yolei.
Good job.
Finally, the last one.
Yay! Yoli.
Who was I don't want to say the master, the friend of Hawkmon.
Yes.
For those who haven't,
The pal, the
Yeah.
buddy.
do you know anybody who doesn't know about Digimon at this point?
Maybe
Yeah.
the young people, the children today, maybe they don't know about Digimon. Although, like,
That's what I was
the
gonna say.
new series just came out, didn't it? Like the reboot or whatever. It came out like last year.
But I'm gonna say it's not like as big as it was for our generation.
Oh yeah, I mean, I was like every Saturday morning Digimon. Oh yes, loved Digimon growing up.
It's the only
For
re-
me, it was actually like I was a Pokemon fan, so it was like Digimon. Don't know. Do not get that mix up in
I
here.
played Pokemon, so I've always played Pokemon, but I wasn't really a fan of the anime. Like, it was not really my thing. I was much more a fan of watching Digimon. So
I never watched Digimon. Actually, I never watched Digimon, and everybody has the exact same. Everybody who's watched it always has the exact same reaction that you do. And I'm like, I'll watch it. I gotta watch it just for nostalgia's sake, and because like I did like the opening, and I did have like the Digi Watch, like the actual like which was a pedometer. The
so great.
I think it was first generation actually, green and white, and somebody had gifted it to me. Like a friend in school had gifted it to me. And I liked it because I didn't know what a pedometer was at the time, and I just remember it evolving. And I'm like, this is so cool.
Oh, great. So did it like counted how many steps, and did you get like it like evolved or something at
So I didn't.
steps?
Me as an adult, I know it's a pedometer now. I didn't know what it was back then. I just knew because they had told me, well, depending on the number of steps, I didn't know it was called a pedometer. I just knew depending on how much you walk, it's going to evolve. So I don't know, let's say you hit a random number, 10,000 steps, you're now going to have that egg, I think it was an egg, be born. And then after a certain amount of other steps, it evolves into like the first, I want to say, generation level. I don't even know what they were called because I never watched it.
What a great
until I got to
talking.
until I got to like the latest one, to like the big one, to the one I want to say looked like Charizard. But I don't know because I never watched it.
Or something that your ex guy.
I was a big fan of Digimon, and I might get in trouble for saying this, but if you ask me, Digimon was way more anime than Pokemon, and Digimon had way more
Everybody says that.
story and drama than Pokemon.
I agree. The story is way more.
There's episodes over there arcs that if I watch it now, I'm going to cry like a baby. And when they hit the soul evolution, that was the pinnacle. Like, I still traumatized when on that soul season or arc generation, the soul evolution, one of the characters was evil, and we're like, why so evil? Suddenly the guy was not evil, they saved him, and because he died before getting to the war where they had the accident, they were transported, and he died. Not only died, he was trying to share his brother and never seen before, and he soul did not pass, and now he's like the only one without soul. And when they return home, he cannot return home because there's no body for his soul. So I hear and narrating this around, I'm like, damn, I get the chills, the goosebumps, because it gets dark, and we saw Digimon dying here. We see multiple.
I'm sorry, what? You actually see death? Okay. Wow.
Digimon make when you talk about anime, and we say Pokemon versus Digimon take the whole lineup of checkbox drama.
I have nothing against.
This is the one I had. This is the one I had. Wait, let's wait for it to. Come on. Don't look at my face. Focus. Focus. There we go. That's the one I had. That's the exact same one I had.
That's so fun.
That's the second generation.
Oh, never mind. I thought it was first. I don't know. Somebody gifted it to me.
It was fine. It's fine.
1, 2, numbers are relative. Who cares?
Now this is nostalgia. We went to Thursday Back Thursday activity right now. Thursday throwback Thursday. Damn. What? Any moment, core memory from Digimon that you can remember when you watched the series?
Oh man. I always remember. So I mean, it's been a long time since I watched like this series, but even when I found out, even when I like first auditioned for the redub that we did, I was like immediately remembering like Anjuman and Anjuwoman and the kids. Help me with the names, because was it Kari and TK? Is that who it was?
Yeah, I don't remember those names. But yeah.
Yeah, and like I just for some reason that I remembered them very strongly. And then I like in season 2, didn't they have like a cute like little sort of semi-romance? I remember shipping them so hard when I was like 11. Like that was ridiculous. As an 11-year-old, like whatever. But yeah,
Already shipping. I mean, didn't we all?
So
If
true.
somebody tell me that they did not end up together, I'm going to get mad. They better end up together.
They are destined for each other. Anyway, yes, no, I loved Digimon, and I went and watched like the whole first season again when I was in college, because I was just like, I love Digimon, and it's like on YouTube or something at the time. So, yeah,
I want to go find it.
you
I'm
should.
gonna go find it.
It's a good time. It's definitely,
It is.
definitely. But you didn't hear that from me.
In what?
Cool.
In what channel do they used to like play? Because I remember watching it way back. For me, it was channel 26, which was WB Kids. I don't know if they had Digimon there, but I remember the Saturday morning lineup where you had Pokemon, because it was WB Kids. It was like Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Static Shock, and I don't even remember what else.
Yeah, what a crazy morning lineup that was.
It was great.
But yeah, when I
That's it.
when I like got that booking email where they were like, "You got Yolei," I was like, "Are you serious?" It was crazy. It was so fun to record too, because Marissa, the director, loves Digimon, and so you could really just feel how excited everybody was to like revisit this, and like with so much of the original cast, like 20 years later, it was wild. Like getting to play, it was so crazy. When I recorded, I was like the last person, I think, essentially to record on, or at least like one of the last. And the guy who played Davis, which is he's in season 2, had already recorded, and I was like, I literally remember this voice from my childhood. This is so wild. It was crazy.
Wait, I'm lost now. See, you guys, I'm very lost.
Oh, about what this is?
The recording. So
Yes.
Wait, there was the original recording.
Yes.
How do you come into Digimon then to
Okay,
record the
so-
original characters?
Yeah, let me explain a little bit. So what we got to do was back in like 1999 or 2000 or something, there were these
The golden years.
exactly. There were like these 3 like movies that were made for the Digimon series, but they were sort of like cut down and made into one when it was brought to America for like, I think for TV. It might have been in theater. So what we got to do is we redubbed that. It was already dubbed. They had already done it, but they re-added like the scenes that had been cut and made it into 3 separate things, and we got to re-record everything. And the production team contacted as many of the original cast as they could to come do the redub, and then they recast anyone who like couldn't be contacted or wasn't interested in coming back and recording. And so we had like original cast members doing their roles from like 20 years ago. And then like it was like, are you serious? Like this is like so cool. So it was really fun.
Wow.
Curious.
Was
It was
this
wild.
movie the one about the Digimon who was a virus?
It was a virus. That might have been the first one.
First movie.
Yolei's only in like, she's really only in the 3rd of the 3. She's in the second one a little bit, but the first one I think is about the virus.
And this is what killed me about Yolei. She was in that movie, but she was a kid, so they showed her for a few seconds when they're... Guys, we're talking about again, early 2000, when internet was like something fancy for people can afford it back then. So it was a kind of taboo. It was LimeWire time. It was time to download the virus that will kill your computer. And this movie, the Digimon, it was a virus to infect all the computer, and it's launching a nuclear bomb to Japan. And the way to block the virus, because Raymond was trying to stop the virus, and he was moving so fast, and they stopped it by spamming everybody's sending chat message to the virus. So, which is kind of, it's an internet concept now that I think about it.
Wait. Were they 10 years old?
Yes.
Because
Some of them I think
10 years old, 10-year-olds in Japan, they always save the world. That's like the thing. I don't know why.
Well, and even funnier, the 3rd movie, they come to America, like Yolei and Davis. They like take a flight. There was like a line that was like, "We used your father's flight benefits to get to America." I was like, y'all are 10. How are you doing this? This is so funny. Yeah, these 10-year-olds. Way more ambitious than I was at 10.
And way more knowledgeable than their parents too, apparently. I mean, honestly, talking about it, I know this is like a little off topic for the podcast, but we have to definitely talk about it. The fact that in our generation, the latchkey kids, which for those of you who don't know what that term means, it just means that the kids who were left alone. Kind of started like late 70s to 80s, 90s. So we were part of the latchkey kids too. Like we were actually kind of like the last ones.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, a lot of the movies for us growing up, they always featured the kids saving the world. Like think of like Home Alone, which is not a kid saving the world, but he's a kid alone and he can do anything. And they usually do portray them as like smarter than the adults. And then I think about it, I'm like, wait, so we had Digimon, we had Pokemon, we even had Yu-Gi-Oh, even though he's not 13, but still, in that age range-ish, a little older, but they're always like, just show like, you can do it, you can save the world. And I think
Yeah.
that mentality honestly like also stayed with me, like, man, they were so positive. What happened?
I mean, good to see we're all millennial here, but us who are millennials around nearby them, we had it tough because technically we had like a progress of technology in short time that advancement hell. You can just watch those movie anime from the early 2000s, and you're going to see how they're talking about technology. I mean, Ash Ketchum, when they first called her mom, it was a video call. We were like, "Whoa, that will never happen." And maybe when I'm old, there's no way that's going to be true. And 3 years,
Look at us
later,
now.
No,
we,
that's
we
right.
start with Messenger doing video chat.
Wait.
So, yeah.
Okay, talk. Now I'm Ash Ketchum.
Yeah, I mean, it is interesting seeing those animation, how they refer to technology, and you guys might think, oh, this guy all the hell no, just because technology just see less than 10 years fly hell up. But anyway, let's we can go one more hour here talking about Throwback Thursday here. But Jessica, thank you so much for joining us today.
Before she goes, I want to ask you, do you have any advice for anybody who's trying to like get into voice acting, or you know what, just life in general? Why not?
Life advice in general. Yeah, so voice acting, I think my biggest thing, especially for like anime like fans who are interested, I always say find out if you actually like acting. Like that's so important because like it's really fun, but it's still a job. So yeah, go figure out, like, if you go take some theater classes, go do even like doing like a fan dub, like go like practice, see what it's like, get your toes wet, like go get your feet wet, I think is the phrase, not your toes. That's a little weird. Anyway, yeah, like go get some experience, and it doesn't have to be paid. Like go try all the things, all the acting things. And like really like create your make it a business. Like that is probably the best advice I can give, is it's going to be a business. It's not a hobby, like to be like a professional voice actor. And so you really want to prepare for it like it's a business, like take classes, do the foundational work. Do not expect the directors, wherever you end up, Crunchyroll, anywhere else, to like teach you how to act. That's not why they're there. So like make sure that you can put your best foot forward when that moment comes, like that you are in an audition or you get to send in an audition. Make sure you've done the work before that, so that you don't you're not gonna ruin your chances if you aren't ready, but you won't be ready. So you know what I mean? Nobody's gonna hear your audition and be like, I'm never hiring this person. So don't worry about that. But yeah, like prepare yourself the best that you can, take classes, listen to people's advice, and then yeah, be ready for when your chance comes.
And like Jessica said, treat anything in life as a business and you will be already ahead of the race.
Yes.
With everybody.
So
Everything.
Yep.
So Jessica, thank you so much. For those who haven't followed you yet on social media, which social media can they follow you?
Twitter at jpeterson1027, or Instagram, I want to say the same, but now I'm second guessing myself, jpeterson1027. Yeah, or Facebook, Jessica Peterson, actress, all of the above. Yeah, thanks guys.
Or go to your website.
All the anime.
Definitely. And don't worry if Jessica confused one of her website. You can go down to the description below, expand the description. You will find over there the link to Jessica, Facebook, Twitter, X. and what was it?
Instagram,
Instagram. Right over there, guys. Just spam and click. And because you already made it over there, go right to the left and hit subscribe and hit like and share. So that will help us a lot in the YouTube. And you can go to our social media such as Facebook, X, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, all of them. Go to Google, write Kokiotaku, and show all the social media we have. So Jessica, thank you so much. And we will see you guys in the next episode. Sayonara.
Bye.